Every time I review a luxury tech product, I come away thinking I must have missed something. Because, once again, I've got a $1,000 product on my desk, and once again, it's very nice, but it seems like the only reason to pay that price is the name on the back. This is the Summit 2 smartwatch from Montblanc, and this is the MrMobile review. With a lead-in like that, you might think I have nothing good to say about this watch, but that's not true. In fact, this is my favorite smartwatch hardware of 2018. The 42mm casing is water-resistant and weighted so well that while you can upgrade to a titanium version, I wouldn't want to. It feels just perfect in stainless steel. Also nearly perfect, the 1.2-inch display, which is brilliantly bright and pixel-packed with the kind of contrasty color that only OLED can provide. While you can, of course, tap and swipe on the sapphire watch face to interact with the software, anytime you have the opportunity to use that rotating side button instead, you should. It's so perfectly synced with the software that it almost feels like some internal spring or string is pulling you through the menus mechanically. And the Montblanc logo on the crown, that's a nice touch too. Even on the software side, there's plenty nice to say. Google's new Wear OS is exactly the usability and design update the platform needed. And special kudos to Google Assistant, which has gotten much better at giving you important information at any given moment. I mean, sometimes it does feel like you're wearing a Successories poster on your wrist, but yeah, it's okay. Now, Montblanc is positioning the Summit 2 as an accessory for globetrotters, and to sell that narrative, it's included two notable apps. Travel Info is really basic, with an uneven smattering of social advice for different countries, which is somehow at once too broad and also weirdly specific. I didn't know about this salt shaker thing in Spain. But the other one, Timeshifter, that's great. It's basically a coach for helping you minimize jet lag. Tell it where you're going and when, and starting a day in advance, it'll advise you on when to start and stop drinking coffee, when to get more or less light, and when to go to sleep and wake up. I used it on my trip to Qualcomm's Tech Summit in Hawaii, and it really did help minimize my jet lag while I was there. On the way back, I did not follow its advice, and, well, let me tell you, I am still feeling it. That's a lot of pluses. So why am I so down on the Summit 2? Well, here's the thing. When you're buying a luxury brand, part of what you're paying for is the name on the box. What I can't abide is when these upscale brands use that as an opportunity to skimp on the fundamentals. Biggest among these is battery life. The Summit 2 is a one-day smartwatch, meaning you need to charge it every night. That's a huge disappointment because the Qualcomm Snapdragon 3100 inside was specifically designed to give these watches more staying power. I had a chat with Qualcomm about this while I was in Hawaii, and while a company VP was careful to avoid assigning blame, I got the sense that the problem might lie in how Wear OS utilizes the hardware. In short, it could be a software thing, which means it's possible updates could help squeeze more life out of that big battery in the future. Qualcomm did say I wasn't the first to ask these questions. According to reviews, the Fossil Sport has similar battery issues on the same chipset. So for now, this isn't a problem unique to Montblanc. But for the price tag of one Summit 2, you could buy almost 4 Fossil Sports. Or a similar number of Galaxy Watches or Fitbit Ionics. Each of those last about 3 to 5 days per charge. And with any of those watches, you wouldn't have to deal with the Summit 2's finicky charging cradle, with an old micro USB port and magnets so weak that it's just a circus to charge this thing. Seriously, it's the worst. Then there's the inconsistent apps. Montblanc offers a world clock, a stopwatch, and a timer, and the latter is notable mainly for just how slow it feels. By the way, the buttons I've set as shortcuts to those apps are also utterly lacking any kind of physical feedback. They don't move at all. And while I really like these watch faces, the complications don't always display properly on the always-on display. I keep this one on the left here set to a different time zone, and it's basically never correct. Finally, take the presentation. This box is serviceable, but when I'm paying $1,000, I expect not fabric and cardboard, but wood and leather. It's fine if you think I'm crazy for saying so, but recall that way back in 2015, Huawei was giving people that exact experience on Android Wear for half the price. If the Summit 2 were half the price, it would be an easy recommendation, despite its shortfalls. I'll say it once more. This is some of the most beautiful hardware you're going to find in smartwatches. I'm going to keep it on my wrist right up to the minute Qualcomm asks for it back. But justifying a $995 starting price tag, to me, means you just need to get closer to the summit of perfection than this one does. Folks, be sure to keep your eye on the comments. I've reached out to Montblanc about some of the issues with my review device, and if the company has a response, I'll be sure to include it down there. While you're there, be sure to subscribe to the MrMobile on YouTube, and for another interesting take on the modern smartwatch, check out my review of LG's Watch W7 with analog hands over a digital face. Until next time, thanks for watching, and stay mobile, my friends.